peoples. Welcome to Box Center. Y'all already know what it is, man. I'm your host, Jay Smith, and we're gonna be talking boxing. It's all over the internet. Everyone is talking about it, so we need to address it. Eddie Hearn says that Terence Bud Crawford versus Jaron Boots Ennis is the fight to make. It's the biggest fight. What do you guys think about it? Should Terence Crawford fight Jaron Boots Ennis next? We got to talk about it. We have got to talk about it because at this point, if you haven't been hiding under a rock somewhere, then you're very well aware that Terence Bud Crawford is trying to fight, or is most likely gonna fight, Canelo Alvarez in September. So the magic question is: should Terence Crawford fight Jaron Boots Ennis next instead? I mean, I don't know. I personally don't think that that's the best fight to make next. I want to see Terence Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis mix it up. I've been wanted that since a while back, but that ship may have sailed. And the reason I say that is because, Bud is going to fight Canelo at 168. There won't be a rehydration clause. So I believe both fighters will be, stepping in the ring north of 175 pounds. Oh, the fake John Parham account. That was a good one. But you're definitely a nobody rolling up in here. You're the one checking me out, so I am somebody. Peace. um, but yeah, my peoples, I had to do what I had to do. Kick that goofball out of here. We want to know how is this going to play out, my peoples. We want to know, is Jaron Boots Ennis and Terence Crawford even a possibility? Could this fight actually happen? I don't know. I don't know if this is a fight that could happen. Just because, like I said, if Terence Crawford fight Canelo Alvarez at 168, no rehydration clause, they're both going to be weighing in the 170s, maybe even get to 180 to fight each other. Can Terence Crawford, or not can, because I think he could, but how demanding is it going to be, to his body to fight at 168 and drop down 2 divisions for his very next fight? We got to see. LOYY, salute, my brother. Bam. I believe that is it's already going to be very demanding for him to move up 2 divisions and fight at 168. But I think it's a lot tougher to then move back down 2 divisions for the following fight. So that's why I'm wondering, is it possible? Can Terence Crawford or would he be willing to fight at 168 and then go all the way back down to 154? Which, by the way, Jaron Boots Ennis is not a 154. He's at welterweight trying to become undisputed in that division. So I think there's a lot of factors, that suggest that fight is just not going to happen. Wheel of Fortune. Yo, what's the deal, brother? LOYY. I just saw it as well. Eddie Hearn, I'll kill this dude if Canelo versus Crawford didn't happen. Shiraz Khan, hi, brother. What's up, brother? So I know that, I respect Eddie Hearn. I understand, and that's the one thing that I like about Eddie Hearn and why I'm a fan of his. He's always trying to get the biggest fight for his fighters, So I understand him wanting Jaron Boots Ennis to fight Terence Crawford. That would be a huge fight. Obviously bring in a lot of money and make Boots a much bigger star. If he's able to beat Crawford, now he's going into superstardom. But if Crawford beats him, that can affect his stock. Send it in a downward spiral. Shiraz Khan, where are you from, brother? Dominican Republic, my guy. LOYY, my bad for not joining the stream that much. But why there was fast food chains in here? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that was about. But, I guess people thought that was funny. It was funny the first day, then it got really, really corny. Like, yo, what is y'all doing? What is y'all doing? I was about to start blocking people left and right. But again, man, listen, the whole situation with Terence Crawford, I understand that Eddie Hearn is gonna want his guy Jaron Boots Ennis to get the biggest fight, and I see where he's going with it. It's hard for me to see that fight actually happening because it's just like I said, man. Terence Crawford is trying to fight Canelo Alvarez. That's a huge fight. That is a bigger fight than Crawford versus Jaron Boots Ennis. On Lace, my G, what's the deal, my brother? Appreciate you dropping in, man. You already know what it is. We talking boxing. We seen Eddie Hearn trying to get the fight. Crawford versus Boots. Can that fight actually happen? We have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. Honestly, I don't see it happening. I don't see Crawford, deciding to say, nah, I'm not going to fight Canelo so I can fight Boots. Remember, if Crawford already said that he's not going to fight at the welterweight division ever again. So it would have to be Boots moving up to 154. So think about it. Should Crawford fight Canelo Alvarez at 168 for undisputed, to become undisputed in a third division, to be the Hall of Famer, a pound for pound fighter? Or should he fight Boots at 154 just to defend his title and that's it? Because Boots ain't going to have nothing to offer. So I understand it. I 100% understand it. Like the big legacy type of fight, the historic fight, is him going after Canelo. It's obviously going to be riskier. Canelo's the favorite to win that fight. People feel like Canelo's even going to stop him. But we have to see it. I believe Crawford is going to win that fight by unanimous decision. Shiraz Khan, like, done, and subscribe. Appreciate it, my brother. Hell yeah. I drop videos every day. Check out the long videos, the short videos, and you're going to see what Box Center is about, my peoples. We headed for number one. It's the inevitable. Box Center is going to be the number one boxing channel. Take that to the bank to get some pounds. LOYY, if Canelo versus Crawford going to happen in Saudi, I think Canelo versus Boots will happen before, or Canelo versus Crawford will not happen. We shall see. We shall see. I see Canelo versus Crawford being the next fight in September. JJ's in the house. Hello, J Smith. I'm here, but still working. I'll be in and out in the chat. Let's go, everyone. Hit that like button. Hell yeah, my brother. Appreciate you, JJ's in their house. You heard it, my peoples. Hit that like button. Make sure you tuning in. You supporting J Smith. LOYY. Have you been in Saudi, J Smith? No, sir. I have not. Daniel Gogoro. Hola desde Chile. Un saludo, hermanito mío. Muchas gracias por pasar por aquí. R30. Crawford is Boots' legendary fight. I mean, that would be legendary for Boots, but Canelo is Crawford's legendary fight. That's where, we have a mix-up right there. Unlaced. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hell yeah, my peoples. LOYY. We already gave the sub and like button a left hook and a cross. We break it. R30. Facts. But, look. If Crawford is going to fight Canelo next, which is what I'm expecting, and a lot of people see that as the next fight for Crawford, is Canelo Alvarez. I think Jaron Boots Ennis should focus on Brian Norman Jr. That's a fight a lot of fans want to see. I personally want to see that fight. And, of course, it's a unification fight, and it gets Boots closer to becoming undisputed in the welterweight division. Now, I'll tell you what, this is something interesting that can happen. I've been hearing rumors that hasn't been confirmed by anyone, so I don't know if it's facts, but I've been hearing rumor that apparently Manny Pacquiao is trying to work out a fight with Mario Barrios. So, if Manny Pacquiao beats Mario Barrios for that title, then Jaron Boots Ennis can actually fight him for his title. If Jaron Boots Ennis can get Manny Pacquiao, that would be huge for him. That would be a mega fight. Obviously, he's not gonna get credit for the win because Pacquiao is in his late 40s already. Matter of fact, I'm not sure if Pacquiao will get in the ring with Jaron Boots Ennis, but you just never know in boxing. If Pacquiao grabs, maybe Pacquiao grabs the title from Barrios and decide to retire right then and there, or he might decide to defend it. You have to see how it plays out. Love more Hinduism. Boots got me sold. Been trying to tell you, my brother. I can't believe it took this long for you to be sold on Boots, but at least you're in. Boots is a special fighter, my guy. Very, very special fighter. And I'm trying to tell you, he's the type of guy who he's gonna accomplish a lot of big things. LLYY, out of topic. I saw a video you talking about helping the youth boxers that can't get their name out there. Can you tell us about it? Well, I'm not gonna talk about it now, but I will be making content about that very soon. Leo, Manny needs to stay out the way. I agree with you, my brother. Manny Pacquiao does, in your late 40s, you should not be coming back. You mess around, get beat up out there. And he got money. It's not like he's trying to come back to try to get some money. So, LOYY, Manny is too old, J. Smith. Even if he lost, the either fighter will get the recognition at all. And they'll get hate. Everybody will say he should fight Manny in his prime. Agree. But that will still be a big fight. That will still be a fight that bring a lot of attention. And it will be Manny Pacquiao passing the torch. John Parham. Who this LOY character? LOYY was McDonald's last week. R30. Boots. Just now coming off the biggest win to date. Crawford only fights Boots if the bag is way up there. I mean, it's like I said, man, with Crawford fighting Canelo at 168, I don't know, man. With Crawford fighting Canelo at 168, I don't know if he goes back down to wherever to fight Boots. I got to see how that's going to work out. John Parham, by the way, the fake account with your name was on here earlier. You know he got kicked the hell out of here. That fake. Now people making fake accounts of other people. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like all these fake. Like I don't know. LOYY. Nah, it wasn't McDonald's. It wasn't me. It was that one account that have Luke in it. Alright, so who you was? Burger King or you was one of them restaurants. John Parham, crazy work. Yeah, man. I don't know what happened with the restaurants. They all heard that I was gonna start blocking them out, and it's over. But again, my peoples, I want to see how this whole situation is gonna play out, and it's crazy because as fight fans, we could look past an opponent. Like right now, we're really out here looking past Skull. McDonald's. Okay, so Luke, I'm gonna ask you a favor, my brother. Please remove the whole McDonald's. I was about to tell him. Oh, he listening, Luke. Please remove the McDonald's logo. Remove the McDonald's name. And if you want to talk boxing, we with it, my brother. But you're close to getting blocked out. I don't need the trolling, the bringing in restaurant stuff up in here, my brother. This a boxing channel. We talking boxing. And I'm not about joking around, bro. So if you're gonna come with that restaurant stuff, you're gonna get blocked out of here, my guy. LOYY. Here the trolls again. Arch30. Boots is like how Crawford used to be, begging to fight the big fish. I mean, that's the reality because you gotta understand when you're at that level and when you're that good, a lot of people not gonna want to fight you. A lot of people not gonna want to fight you. Now, Brian Norman Jr. wants to fight Boots. He just wants to get paid right, and it's reasonable. You want to fight the big dog. You're a champion too. We gotta acknowledge that. LOYY. So Luke is not 51 years old, coach? I really thought Luke is 51 years old, coach, and own a gym. I don't know what he is. I don't care about people's personal life like that. That's incoherent anyways. As long as people care about boxing, we could talk boxing. But I want to know, what do you guys think? Should Terence Crawford, forget about Canelo Alvarez and fight Jaron Boots Ennis next? Or should he stay the course and fight the guy that a lot of people want to see him fight? Chase history, do what not many people have been able to do in the sport of boxing, and jump up 2 divisions to dethrone the champion. How does it play out? Damn, McDonald's really want that attention really bad. John Pound, that's not the original McDonald. The original had his account 10 years ago. Well, the one that came through is out of there too. Quick. JJ's in the house. Yes, I'm getting fucking hungry with all that shit, Jay Smith. We'll flap you and then get your ass out of here. I'm telling you, we'll flip you and get your ass out of here. We not wasting no time with these folks. We doing it quickly and swiftly. Hash Bass, Chase Legacy. That's what I'm talking about. Because if Terence Crawford was to fight Jaron Boots Ennis at 154, Boots don't even got a title. Chris Fonton, what's the deal, my brother? Boots won't even have a title at 154. So Terence Crawford would just be defending his versus Boots. As opposed to fighting Canelo. Yeah, appreciate the views from those goofballs. As opposed to Crawford fighting Canelo to go undisputed. Come on now. LOYY, this dude got 1,000 emails. I mean, why? Look, I'm going to tell you like this. I'm surprised that people like that roll up in here. Like, yo, I'm not famous. This is not a huge account. You're not being seen by 50,000 people. Like, why do you want attention from me? Damn, you want attention? That's got to be a lonely ass motherfucker in his mom's basement. Yeah, McDonald's getting a little bit of attention, but getting kicked out over and over. All them email accounts are gonna be kicked the hell out of here. So my peoples, at the welterweight divisions, LLYY, you count calories? Come on, man. Why count calories? Come on. We talking boxing. You want to talk about calories? Come on now. I have to say, my peoples, if Jaron Boots Ennis is not going to fight Terence Bud Crawford next, which I don't think is going to happen. I think it's out of the question. Who should he fight? He could fight Brian Norman Jr. Maybe he could talk to Barrios if Barrios is not going to get it on with Pac-Man. And he can consider going to 154 and fighting Virgil Ortiz. Now, I will say, and I've been saying to my peoples, Virgil Ortiz is not the best opponents for Boots' next fight. I know a lot of people want to see Boots versus Virgil, but just hear me out. If Boots move up to 154 and fight Virgil next, neither one of them will be champions. The hell they gonna fight a 10-rounder or some type of eliminator? No. Boots can stick around and fight Brian Norman Jr. at welterweight, try to snatch that title, while Virgil Ortiz goes after Fundora or after any of the other champions in the division and he grabs the title. The point is that a fight between Jaron Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz is a lot more interesting if they're fighting for a title or even if it's a unification fight. But if they're not fighting for anything, it's not the same. Not the same. Chris Fontaine, Boots trying to be undisputed. That's a fact. And he's been saying that. That's something that he said a long time ago. He wants to become undisputed at welterweight, at 154, and I think in another division, not sure. And at I think he wants to become undisputed in 3 or 4 divisions. I can't remember. But he's made that very clear. That's why I told people the only way that he moves up without fighting Brian Norman Jr. and Mario Barrios is if he sees that those fights cannot happen. If they can't make those fights, the politics get too crazy, he'll move up without fighting them. JJ Zendejas, they need to fight when one of them has a belt. I agree 100%, my brother. Boots versus Virgil has to be a championship fight. It has to be. Because you got to look at it. 2 young lions who both got a great future in the sport of boxing. A lot of people feel like Virgil will beat Boots. A lot of people feel like Boots will smoke him. It's that type of fight. They're both going to have a fan base supporting them. That's a huge fight. That's why I don't think that they should fight next for nothing at 154. To me, that doesn't even make no sense. Hash Bass, Norman Jr. or Barrios, and Ortiz isn't a champion. And if Boots becomes undisputed at 47, it will make him mandatory for the WBO when he moves up. There you have it. So he can still become undisputed. Now, we don't know if Virgil is going to have the WBO title, but Boots can go up and grab his own title. The bottom line is whether they're both champion or one of them is at 154, that will make the fight a lot bigger. LLYY, I wish Boots versus Canelo does not happen. We want Canelo versus Crawford. Yeah, but Boots is not even trying to fight Canelo, brother. Boots is nowhere near talking about fighting at 168. So Boots versus Canelo is not even in the conversation. Leo, Boots not getting those belts. His promoter too cheap. Let's see. Let's see, because Eddie Hearn has made a lot of big fights. Let's see. And Brian Norman Jr., his profile, his stock went up after that last performance. So this time around, when they negotiate, they might be willing to pay him. John Parham, exactly why I feel Norman can catch Boots slipping. Love more Hinduism. We're going to hit. He going to hit by Ortiz. It's over. John Parham, facts. So I got to tell you, my peoples, these fights are very interesting matchups. I want to see Jaron Boots Ennis and Brian Norman Jr. I really want to see that fight. John Parham, Boots better make his beard thicker. You know, to be honest, I've always felt like the big beard is part of the strategy, so you could take a shot. Because there is some cushion there. If you have a big beard, there is some cushion that could maybe help you with some punches. LLYY, Boots is the hood version of Crawford. John Parham, what you got, a homemade turkey classic? Turkey, egg, and cheese. Yes, sir. Love more Hinduism. Yes, slips of punches. It is Chris Fontaine. It is the beard hold you down. Hash Bass, Norman Jr. versus Boots is easy work for Boots. On Lace, I'm the Colombian Rick Ross with my beard. Love more Hinduism, the beard. Nah, I really believe that the beard helps. It helps, you know. So you got a little bit of free cushion. I don't know now if that's the case, but when I was an amateur boxer, when I was an amateur boxer, they used to make you shave. You couldn't have a beard. You could not have a beard, bro. Even your mustache, they will make you shave it. Leo, Leo, Crawford is the hood. Man, listen, Terence Crawford, after what he did to Errol Spence's profile just went up like crazy. Like crazy. John Parham on Lace. They messed up and gave a ninja extra shrimps. My people, let me ask y'all. This fight with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach is going down already. It's a done deal. Does anyone really believe, honestly, that Tank Davis is going to knock Lamont Roach out? I don't understand why people feel so confident about a knockout when they went 12 rounds. The way that they went 12 rounds. LOYY, in my opinion, I see Roach will win. I see Lamont Roach winning on points too. John Parham, I do. So, John, okay, not before the 10th. That's what I was about to say. Not before the 10th round. Hash Bash, you can't get more hood than Crawford because he got shot over a dice game. Arch 30. Did I miss something? Roach and Davis, official. So, that fight hasn't been officially announced, but I've already heard from multiple sources that it's pretty much a done deal, and they're putting together the undercard. So it'll be announced shortly, because they plan on doing it for June 21st. Chris Fontaine, I don't see it happening. I think Roach gonna tank card again. Roach gonna tank card again. I don't know what that means, my brother, but I think you're saying Roach gonna whoop that ass one more time. LOYY. If Roach won the fight, do you know how much popular and new fans Roach would get? His popularity would explode for a second time. Because he became very popular after that first fight. Across all his social media platforms, he gained a lot more followers, a lot more people, believe in Roach now. JJ's in the house. Roach is going to win in better fashion this time. I think so. Because I did see him winning the first fight. But I think that this time around, they'll both make adjustments, and I got Roach winning it. LOYY J Smith. You thinking about creating a Discord community? Most boxing news and channels have it. I mean, that's something I've considered, but I'm still trying to build something else. I'm still focused on other things. Leo, Tank need someone who come to fight. Roach should fight Shakur. They styles match. I mean, what do you mean, Leo? Roach came to fight. Like, Tank needs someone who come to fight? Did you not see Roach walking him down for 12 rounds and trading leather with him? I don't know what you mean by that, brother. Roach, without a shred of doubt, came to fight. In fact, I think that caught Tank Davis and his team by surprise. They thought he was going to be using footwork and moving around. You didn't see Roach, moving around or fighting in a defensive way. You saying Lamont Roach didn't go there to fight when he put so many hands on Tank Davis? Come on, bro. Underrated Will. Do a TikTok, bro. I actually got a TikTok. Jay Smith, I got a TikTok. JJ's in their house. The fight is on if Tank doesn't duck. John Parham. Tank will be way more locked in and determined to catch him and more aggressive, but Roach definitely built a lot of confidence and Tank has more at risk. LOYY, I wish Tank does not duck Roach as he ducked Shakur. Chris Fonton. Jay, if Tank officially loses this next fight, what do you think happens with that Jake Paul fight? I mean, if Tank loses to Lamar Roach, I don't think he'll be able to get the Jake Paul won't even be interested in him anymore. Jake Paul will diss him like, nah, buddy, you got your ass beat. I might fight Lamar Roach instead. LLYY, Shakur Stevenson versus the winner of Tank versus Roach. It's amazing. You think that's right? That's a great fight to make, but we already know Tank Davis ducking Shakur for dear life. So I already gave up on that fight until Tank don't say nothing about him trying to fight Shakur. I done gave up on that fight already, bro. Arch 30. In my opinion, Tank comes in more motivated and handles Roach. If the Tank stays busy, he wins by decision. John Parham. Arch 30. I agree. Underrated Will. What's the TikTok? I'll be going live. Let me find the TikTok for y'all real quick, so y'all can see what my TikTok is. So this is my TikTok, my peoples. Look, it's also J Smith 134. So it's J underscore Smith underscore 134. So my TikTok is the same as my Instagram. So y'all already know. 100% boxing content. That's what we do, my peoples. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, check it out. I'll be out there. John Parham, I don't have TikTok. Now TikTok, I'm not on there. I never go live on TikTok, and honestly, I use TikTok more like an editing app. I edit videos on TikTok, but I upload some of them as well on there. JJ's in the house. Then he can fight Jake from State Farm. LOYY J Smith, can you set up the thing so you can be live on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all at the same time? I'm going to get an application, which is the one that most people use. I can't remember the name right now. StreamYarn. I am going to get StreamYarn, which allows you to go live on multiple platforms. So, but that's something that I'll do when I'm in the studio set up already. Underrated Will, I found it. Just type J Smith Box Center. Yup. Comes up right there. I'll follow you back, my brother. But personally, my peoples, when it comes to Tank Davis and Lamar Roach, I'm just expecting that to be a real good fight. I'm expecting it to be a competitive fight, just like the first one. I just think that Lamar Roach is gonna make the right adjustments. He already know, like, for the judges to give you a decision against Tank Davis, you gotta whoop his ass. You gotta beat him convincingly. You're not gonna get a close fight. It's not gonna be a close win for Tank. So let's see how that's gonna play out. Let's see how that's gonna play out, my people. That's all I'm saying. But I got Lamar Roach winning that fight. Real talk. LOYY, can't wait for the studio and J Smith getting 10K subs before June. We on it. We going for the thousands, and then we going for the mil. Headed for number one. Now, my people. Because we've been talking about Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson. We've been talking about the situation with Terence Crawford. Is he going to fight Canelo Alvarez next? That's what we expect. Eddie Hearn want him to fight Boots. Great. But how about if Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia both win their next fight? Are they going to fight each other at the end of the year? Supposedly, that's what's going to happen. They're going to fight each other next. Devin Haney has a tough task ahead of him and Jose Ramirez. I already said I believe Ryan Garcia is going to knock Rolly out, sleep him. So I got him winning that fight. If Devin Haney does what he's supposed to do, he's going to win that fight. So are we going to get Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia this year? That's number one. And number two, who's going to win that fight? I've spoke to a few boxers. I've spoken to different people who feel like Ryan Garcia got Devin's number. People feel like Ryan Garcia got Devin's number. He'll be able to beat him again. I believe that he can win that fight again. Now, if Devin Haney beats him, and it's a close fight, we may be looking at a trilogy. We may actually be looking at a trilogy between Devin and Ryan. 3 fights. Unlaced. I think Ryan versus Haney happens even if they both lose. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Because if they both lose or if one of them loses, I believe the one who wins is going to go after bigger fights. Because you know when a guy loses fights, they get diminished. MAW, smash that like button, folks. Hell yeah. Y'all already know, my people. Don't forget to hit that like button. Stop playing with me. John Parham, underrated as a Tank fan, it wouldn't surprise me. LOYY. Ryan and Devin, we already know. Ryan will hurt Devin, in my opinion. Ryan acting crazy and all that, but he's an amazing fighter. If you notice, he hasn't been acting like that as of late. And I believe that he was having, struggling with his mental health issues and all that. He was struggling throughout that training camp and was still able to make it happen. But you see that Ryan has been more stable. He hasn't been ranting on social media, hasn't been acting up. So he looks real focused to put the beats on Rollies. Real focused. And by the way, my peoples, those who know me know Rollies is one of my guys. I love watching Rolly fight. You've never seen a boring fight from Rolly. You know you're going to enjoy the show. It's going to be fireworks. So I know Rollies is going to come to fight. I just think that Ryan Garcia will be able to beat him. MAW, we'll see. Devin has time for an adjustment to correct his flaws, though. I agree. And you know what? The thing about Devin Haney, man, is that even if you look at his fight with Ryan Garcia, there were rounds where he was just boxing him, and he was winning those rounds. He was outboxing Ryan. Things just started to go downhill every time he ate a big left hook. Ate some big shots, and everything went downhill from there. But when he was boxing Ryan, using his footwork, using his reach, he looked good. So I think he has the skills to beat Ryan Garcia. Can he stay away from that left hook for 12 rounds? That's the tough part. Can he stay away? Can he avoid that punch? That's where it's at right there. That's what we gotta see. John Parham, I want Ryan and Boots at 147. Ryan definitely locked in. I would like to see some of these young guys fight Boots. Ryan, Teofimo, even Devin. I think Devin, he didn't call out Boots, but I think, he said he's willing to fight everybody at 147. And that's the thing. Boots about to become undisputed. Boots trying to become undisputed. So y'all going to have to see me if y'all want a title. Underrated Will. Nah, Oscar convinced Ryan not to fight Devin again, and Jose got Devin chin checker. Terence Crawford, Cousin Jay Smith, John Parham, Rolly entertaining, but getting rolled. LOYY. Hey, yo, is that the real Terence Crawford? We say, yo, that's not the real Terence Crawford. Don't cap like that, my brother. You're going to make me look like I'm capping too. So, again, my people, there's a lot of interesting fights that are on the way. But I really want to see, if Devin Haney wins, Ryan Garcia wins, do they fight each other next? MAW. Nah, Ryan, with all that being controversial BS, was just for views. Like they say, controversy sells. So I take everything with a grain of salt. He might play all of us, including Devin. Nah, my brother, Ryan Garcia, his mental health struggles, that's been very well documented. He struggled mentally, like for years already. Remember he pulled out of multiple fights back to back a while ago. And trust me, he even said that during training camp he was getting drunk and everything. So, he definitely has some personal struggles that he deals with. Because you got to understand, just because you have. Sometimes people hear mental health issues and they think the people with struggling mentally are just sitting in the corner of a room crying all day long. And that's not the case. Sometimes people who struggling with mental health, they're the life of the party. They're the ones making everybody laugh and the ones that look the happiest. And in the inside, they dying. They going crazy on the inside. So I believe that Ryan Garcia was dealing with his situation, has been dealing with it. Hash Bass. Devin Haney doesn't want no part of Ryan, especially in the last press conference. Devin tried to make you believe Ryan wasn't going to make to the ring. I mean, they got embarrassed. They even thought that they could knock Ryan Garcia out and everything. And we see how that played out. JJ's in their house. Haney has to box Ramirez if he wants to win. If he fights Ramirez, it's going to be a harder fight for him. That's what I believe too. Terence Crawford, they jealous because I declined their interview. Hello. Come on, brother. You got to stop doing that. Terence Crawford, if you could please put in your real username and your real picture or a different picture. Because, I don't want this. It was funny the first couple of times. Just like the restaurant shit was funny. But at some point, it get corny. Let's stop doing the impersonation stuff, my brother. Because, you're getting close to being booted out of here with that shit. John Parham, there will be more locked in during the rematch. I believe it. I think that now there's going to be more respect for Ryan Garcia's power and more respect for what he can do. Sometimes, you know what? Devin Haney was overconfident. He was overconfident because I'm telling you, I was talking to people that are very close to Devin Haney, and guess what? People who was close to Devin told me, yo, Devin is going for the knockout. Devin is going to knock him out. LOYY, read my comment. No, do not instruct me to read anything. I read what I can, brother. Don't do that. Read my comment. I'm not here taking your orders, my man. We having conversations about boxing. But yeah, man, I think that Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia is a fight that is going to be very anticipated. A lot of people want to see it. There's the controversy with the whole steroid things. That's why I was talking to somebody this morning who actually told me, Jay, listen, Devin Haney is going to whoop Ryan Garcia when Ryan is clean. With Ryan being clean, Devin is going to whoop him. You really believe that? There's people who believe that. I don't. If a fighter has your number, they know when to counterpunch you. They know what are your favorite punches. What is it that you like to do? And they give you a tough time. I believe that that's the case with Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. Devin is going to, have his moments. And I believe that he can box Ryan Garcia. Can he avoid that left hook for 12 rounds? That's the magic question. JJ's in the house. Crawford is talking in third person. Get the fuck out of here. Come on, man. I need people to stop creating fake accounts to jump up in here. Like, come on, man, stop. Terence Crawford, you still not changing that name? I'm gonna have to say goodbye to you, man. I try to ask you to change that name and that fake picture, but you still on it. Peace out. It was good having you. No fake accounts. I'm kicking fake accounts out of here. Doing too much. Leo, thank you. That's how we doing it. We not playing around. People want to create fake accounts and be funny. They out of here. Go join a comedy channel. This channel right here is for boxing. This not no comedy shit. Go somewhere else with that. Gave him a chance. He talking boxing, but you want to be doing some corny ass impersonation shit. It's not funny anymore. You out of here. Kicking dudes the hell out of here for that shit. But again, my peoples, we got some interesting fights coming up. Get these goofies out of here and talk boxing. John Parham, crazy work, because he sometimes talk good boxing, but name too much. That's what I'm saying, man. You know, sometimes he go in, have a little boxing talk, but then he just go goofy on that Crawford shit and goes too far with it. Like, bro, that's it. One time it's funny, we laugh at it. But when you get to a point where you're trying to tell people that you're the real Crawford, now you wilding out. Now you're being corny and you need to be kicked out. Create another email account and show up over here, come correct. Goofy. LOYY. I ain't instructed you, J. Smith. That's fam right there. That's it. Anybody come, I try to give them an opportunity. JJ's in there has fucking Crawford is probably Jenny and her uncle. What Tiger or something, White Tiger or whatever it was. Nah, that's not them. Because if it would have been them, they would have already been talking about AJ. And why we not talking about AJ enough? Which, by the way, since I mentioned AJ, is AJ gonna fight Jake Paul? Because Tank Davis is not gonna fight Jake Paul next. Think about it. Tank Davis is not gonna fight Jake Paul next. We already are almost sure that it's gonna be the rematch with Lamont Roach. So does AJ fight Jake Paul? I did hear Eddie Hearn say, "Hey, look, if you want to fight AJ, you don't gotta wait next year. We can make it happen this year." Hash bash. People also say Ryan whooped Devin in the past, but Devin just won when he wins. I mean, you got to understand, my brother. People are going to focus on what happened in their last fight. Ryan beat the shit out of him in that last fight. Like, you could erase pictures, erase videos, change the outcome, but you're not going to make us forget that beating that Ryan Garcia gave him. We all remember it. LOYY, if Ryan was mentally right and physically right and takes the training camp seriously, he will knock out Devin in the first round. I don't think he'll knock him out in the first round, but I don't think he might stop him. I think he might actually stop him. John Parham, not in the first, maybe the 10th. Yeah, I would see a late stoppage. Something after the 6th round. Black Jericho, you can't erase the PEDs in her system either. Of course you can. But that's the thing. Whatever was in his system, that's not visual. We know that he was on PED, but we didn't see the PEDs. We saw that beating, my brother. The PEDs is just something that we know, but we didn't see it. It's not like we saw Ryan injecting himself or ingesting anything. We saw that ass whooping, bro. And that was a nasty ass whooping. We saw Devin walking out of that ring looking like a Ninja Turtle, face like this. Looking like Donatello, my brother. Leo, Devin outboxed Ryan. Nah, I said that earlier. Devin had his moments where he was outboxing him, but he kept getting caught with that left hook, bro. And whenever he got hurt, Ryan was putting hands on him. LOYY. Who J. Smith likes more, Shakur or Devin? Nah, Shakur. I think Shakur is the number one young lion right now. after Terence Crawford is going to be Shakur's game. I mean, we saw Devin Haney duck Shakur, literally duck, and people still try to defend that. Black Jericho, we know the facts, so regardless, we know. We now know. John Pound, Leo, he could definitely win off points if he fight the right fight. No, I believe it. I believe Devin Haney got the skill set to outbox Ryan, but when you outboxing somebody, if they hurt you, it can change everything. Everything can change if you get hurt by an opponent. We have to see how it plays out. We have to see how it plays out. Now, who's going to be the favorite if they fight each other? Let's say they both win. Who's going to be the favorite if they're going to meet this year? I don't know. I don't know who's going to be the favorite. Because, the type of beating that Ryan gave Devin Haney, I think that I don't know if Devin is going to be the favorite for the rematch. I just don't know. Like, that's something to really consider, my people. Who y'all think, if Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight at the end of the year, assuming they both win on May 2nd, who y'all think is going to be the favorite to win this fight? And I'm talking about the betting odds. Who's going to be the favorite? LLYY, I think the favorite is going to be Ryan. You see, 100% Ryan is going to be the favorite. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, after he gave Devin that type of ass whooping, it's going to be hard to have Devin as the favorite. It's going to be tough. I'm interested in seeing how the odds are going to be looking. It's probably going to be real close, though. He's not going to be like a huge underdog. I'm talking about Devin. I don't think he'll be a huge underdog, but Ryan Garcia may actually be the favorite for this rematch. Judging by, the way because that's the thing, man. When it comes to the whole steroid stuff, I know that that's something to keep in mind. That's something to consider. But still, bro, it was a nasty beating that we saw. That's why I say, hey, look, we didn't see Ryan Garcia taking the steroids. We don't have a mental picture of him doing anything illegal. He tested positive for whatever percentage it was, okay. But we don't have a mental picture of that actually happening. We have mental images, of Ryan giving Devin Haney a nasty beating. And that image, that'll never disappear from my mind, bro. That image of Devin Haney in the floor like that, and Ryan Garcia standing over him with his pants that say Jesus on them. Because that's the one thing about that fight that brought more friction into it. That Devin Haney's a Muslim, Ryan Garcia's a Christian. That also brought an element of friction. Because, look, Ryan Garcia often brings up, Jesus is king and Christianity. And you saw he was wearing the Jesus shorts when he put that beating on Devin Haney. Leo, riding a drug cheat. I'm telling you, that's something that we say based on one result, but we don't have a mental image of that. As much as you repeat it, my brother, you don't know what that looks like. But we know what it looked like when he gave Devin that beating, and it was bad, bro. It was bad. You saw Devin's jaw looking like Donatello. JJ Sendejas, Garcia. You got Garcia winning the rematch, my brother? That's why I think, and I've been telling everybody, I feel like Ryan Garcia is probably going to be the favorite for that fight. I won't be surprised if he is the favorite to win it. But, again, and there was somebody in the chat who said that, so I know somebody agrees with me. If Devin Haney is going to box Ryan Garcia, use that footwork 24/7. Use every inch of that ring, moving around, keeping that jab out there, counter punching. If he fights that type of fight, I believe he could beat Ryan Garcia. I believe he could beat him. I think that Devin Haney wanted to stop Ryan in that first fight, and that's why he went toe-to-toe, blow for blow with him. I think this time around, if he goes out just trying to outbox him, he has a better chance of not getting hit with that left hook over and over. Black Jericho. It looks like multiple failed drug tests and being banned. Oh no, it wasn't multiple failed drug tests. It was sample A and sample B. That's one drug test. They just separated it into two separate samples. So when they test one, if it's negative, they test the other one to make sure that it wasn't a mistake or that the tube where this wasn't tainted. They test the second sample. A lot of times fans think, oh, this person failed multiple tests. It's one test and two samples. Leo, all Ryan has is a left hook. Rolly might stop Ryan. LLYY, go check Devin Haney new footage. It looked crazy. Ryan has the best lead hook in this boxing era. So I got to tell you, look, when we say all this guy has is this, and with Ryan, all he has is the left hook, that's not true. That's an exaggeration. That's always, almost every time people say that's an exaggeration. Ryan Garcia has a great jab, snappy jab, long jab, has a great right hand, straight right hand. Boop! He's dropped people with that straight right. So Ryan Garcia has an offensive arsenal. It's just that his left hook is special. But that's not all he got. Ryan got the nasty straight. You seen Ryan Garcia's uppercut? His uppercut is nasty. So the notion that, he got us a left hook, that's not true. That's not true. Ryan Garcia's offense, the tools that he got in his bag in the offense are right there with all of the best of them. If you put Teofimo, Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, if you put all the best up there, Ryan Garcia is along with them when it comes to his offensive arsenal. Ryan Garcia, look, the kink in Ryan Garcia's armor is the defense. We know about, keeping the chin up but nah. Ryan Garcia's, the kink in his armor is his defense. Offensive firepower, he has it. He's shown it. MAW. Our first fight, of course, Ryan gonna be favorite. But results likely be who makes the necessary adjustments. Dev has a chance as long as no positive tests. Cool. Turkey likely keep it neutral. Fair enough. I think that, look, the rematch has to happen, and it's going to be anticipated, and it's going to be a big fight. Based on the bad blood between each other, we know that they don't like each other. And I'm telling you, my peoples, the whole religion thing, it brings a different element of friction into it. Because Ryan Garcia makes sure that he throws his faith into Devin's face all the time. Jesus King, Jesus this. He does it on purpose. And then Devin Haney, Allah, blah, blah, blah. So there's that friction because of religion as well. It's almost like the two religions are going up against each other when they step in the ring. LLYY, my brother Jay Smith, you got to start clipping clips from the streams to long form and short form too. You answer some amazing questions and put some real knowledge. Appreciate it, my brother. Sometimes I do that. I haven't done it in a while because it's time that you got to invest into doing that. But that's something that I will be doing. Leo, if Ryan get past Rolly drug free, Dev stop him. Come on, bro. You see, Leo, you pushing it right there. Dev ain't been stopping nobody. He's not exactly known as a guy going around stopping people. So you're going a little bit overboard. Oh, Dev is gonna stop him. No, Dev don't got firepower like that for you to be predicting stoppages for him, bro. JJ's in the house. One in blood and the other in hair samples. JJ's in the house. Pee sample too. I mean, take it into account that Ryan Garcia tested positive. Trust me, for that next fight, they're gonna be all over him. They're gonna be all over. Not only they're gonna be all over him, I'm pretty sure that he's not gonna. If he did something purposely, he's definitely not gonna do it again and jeopardize the second fight. I don't see that happening. LLYY, Jay Smith takes TikTok seriously and start editing clips good. He will reach 100K subs before June. I promise you that. John Parham, not enough power. Yeah, I don't see enough power in Devin Haney to stop Ryan Garcia. You know, guys, and you gotta understand, historically, if you look at historical data, fighters who don't have power don't just move up to another division and now they got power. It doesn't happen like that. If you didn't have power at 135, you ain't gonna have power at 140 or 147. Devin is not a power puncher, so it's a reach to predict that he's gonna knock Ryan out. MAW, Dev gotta still hold that phone when jabbing. Ryan can't keep leaving that chin out there. Body shot put Ryan down. Chin put Devin down. Adjustments. They both got their weaknesses. They both got a weakness when it comes to that defense. John Parham, not that easy, bro. Leo, don't forget Dev put Loma in the hospital and dropped Regis. I mean, you got to understand, though. Devin and Lomachenko went at it toe-to-toe, blow for blow. Lomachenko had him backing down. And the one thing that you got to take into consideration, bro, Devin Haney looked like a welterweight in front of Lomachenko. He was huge. Devin Haney's mad big compared to Lomachenko. That shit looked like a mismatch. And by the way, at times it looked like Lomachenko was winning that fight. It was a very, very close win for Devin Haney. That when I watched it live, I thought Lomachenko won. Then I rewatched it, and I saw some of those counter shots Devin Haney was landing to the body. And I was like, okay, I could see him winning this fight. I could see it. But it was very close. Very close. LLYY. It's easy for Jay Smith, bro. There is no one put this knowledge like that. John Pound, LLYY. On here or TikTok? Both on here and TikTok. Shy Guy. Loma was winning. Listen, when it comes to Lomachenko and Devin Haney, I'm telling you, when I watched the fight live, I thought Lomachenko won. And the following day, I watched it again. I was like, you know what? There was some swing rounds that could have went in Devin's favor. But it was a close fight. If Lomachenko would have been given that W, people was going to have to accept it. It was a very close fight. And Lomachenko, if you watched it, looked a lot smaller than Devin Haney. Lomachenko looked mad little in front of Dev. Leo, Boots was mad big over Stanionis. Nobody says nothing though. I didn't think he was mad big over Stanionis. As a matter of fact, for the win, Boots was like 146 and a quarter. More than half a pound under the welterweight division. Stanionis was a little bit heavier. They just didn't say what they weighed for the next day. But that's why I say we look at Boots, and now the new narrative for Boots from his haters is that he's a weight bully. A weight bully is the guy who don't make weight. You see, Ryan Garcia was a weight bully at 135. Why? He was showing up to his fights at 138, 139, making catch weights of 140, which is the following division. He could not make weight and was always fighting over that limit. That's how you know he a weight bully. But Boots, he's showing up to fight to the weighing 146 and a half pounds, bro. Obviously, he's making weight easily. You think a weight bully just make weight easily like that? It don't go down like that. It don't go down like that. Not the way y'all think. JJ Zendejas. They should test him before the fight and after. And this should be for every fighter. That's a good concept. I agree with that. They should test fighters every fight, before and after. John Pound. LOYY. I agree. Jay Smith definitely knowledgeable. And you will never see any boxing channel reach 100K subs in a year on boxing content. It takes time. Yeah, I agree with you, my brother. 100,000 subs, you don't do that. I mean, unless you have some crazy viral shit, Floyd Mayweather post my video or some crazy like that. But you don't get to that because It's a slow process of people finding you, people figuring out that you are him. It takes some time. But we'll get there for sure. John Parent, but I'm here for it when he do, because it's well deserved. I appreciate you, my brother. Real talk. Addis, what's the deal? So, again, my peoples, these fights, they're all big fights. I still gotta say, when it comes to Terence Crawford, I want him to fight Canelo next. I understand, there are fans who want Crawford to fight Boots. I just see a much bigger fight. Much bigger fight with Canelo versus Bud. Ozzy, what's good? Your son is so cute. Saw that video. Appreciate it, my brother. Yeah, I was picking up my son from his daycare. Hopped on there real quick. Made it happen. Leo, I like how you read the chats and keep us in the chat involved. You a champion. Salute to you, my brother. I appreciate it, my guy. This live is a conversation between me and you guys, and we debating. You'll notice that I don't only read the comments from the people who agree with me. I'm not gonna name nobody, but I've been in boxing channels where they only read the people who agree with them, and it's like nah. I read everybody's comment. I don't read 100% of them. Sometimes they get a little bit ahead of me, so I can't read all of them. But I read a lot of comments regardless of whether a person agrees with me or not. Ozzy, is he fully Dominican? If you're talking about me, I am fully Dominican. Arch30, my guy, you run a good boxing channel with a nice flow. Appreciate it, my brother. MAW, subscribe, share, and smash that like button. Hell yeah, my people. I've been with y'all for over an hour, and I don't got 20 likes. Damn, crazy work. Ozzy, IBFP fully ignores anyone who disagrees. I'm telling you, man, people who disagree, I'd rather have that conversation and go back and forth, and we could share opinion, and we could even trash talk each other. I don't want people to fake agree with me just so we could rock with each other. Or me fake agree with y'all like, yeah, that's true. When in my head, I honestly don't agree. I prefer we could disagree. We could go back and forth. Say what we got to say for real. John Parham, we got to also help with his shorts by liking them and commenting, because I only see 2 others in them. Yeah, my peoples, that's definitely something that helps a lot when y'all go up in the shorts and y'all comment, like. I seen some of you been sharing some of my videos as well, so I super appreciate that. Hash Bass, they do test fighters before and after, and Ryan didn't test positive until that Friday. Leo, I'ma hook you up, the likes. Appreciate it, my brother. Hell yeah. John Parham, Leo, good shit. Leo, watch it fly. Man, I super appreciate that, my brother. Because, look, this channel, Box Center, is going to be number 1. I'm headed for number 1. That shit is the inevitable. But, obviously, you guys could help it happen. Help me make that happen faster. But it's only a matter of time. Everybody talking boxing is going to have to come through here. John Parham, JJ, always show love. Now, my peoples, we spoke about a lot of fighters, a lot of fights. LLYY, J Smith, do you know Counterpunch News? I do not know Counterpunch News, my brother. My peoples, something that we spoke about a few weeks ago, and we really haven't been getting into that subject. Keyshawn Davis and Edwin De Los Santos. That fight is back on. So the businessman and De Los Santos are going to mix it up. That's a fight I want to see. I had people trash talking me like, yo, I had somebody that just kept going on the channel to trash talk me. To tell me that I don't know shit about boxing because De Los Santos is a lot better than Keyshawn at everything Keyshawn does, and De Los Santos is going to stop him. I'm like, whoa, bro. Whoa. Let's wait for the fight and see the outcome. LLYY, you promote your channel there. I'm a mod in there, and I know the guy. He has 92,000 subscribers, and I always put your channel and pin the comment, my brother. I appreciate it, my guy. Super appreciate it. You know, anyone who's ever done anything to promote Box Center, I really appreciate that. You know, I've seen, you know, people also share, like just share the channel on their social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram. Yo, go follow this, go here, this is where it's at. And anytime anyone does something to promote my channel, man, I super appreciate it. So thank you, LLYY. Salute, my brother. Real talk. So what y'all think about Keyshawn Davis and Edwin De Los Santos, man? You know, I think that's a real good fight. I think that's a real good fight. Keyshawn Davis, we already know he's an exciting fighter to watch. Great counter puncher, aggressive fighter, a finisher. And then you got Edwin De Los Santos, who got hands for days, who got crazy speed, who got real good footwork. That's going to be a fight, bro. That's going to be a fight. Guillermo Medes Jr. What's up, Brother Jay? I would love to see Ennis and Bud. Who you got? If Jaron Boots Ennis versus Bud Crawford was to happen next, I will be rocking with Terence Crawford to win that fight. But here's what I want you to consider, Guillermo Medes Jr. Crawford may fight Canelo in September. That fight is going to be at 168 with no rehydration clause. So, Bud and Canelo probably going to be weighing close to 180 for fight night. So, do you think that Crawford will fight Canelo at 168 and move 2 divisions down to fight Jaron Boots Ennis at 154? If Boots move up, because he's still at 147. So, where do you think, if Crawford fights at 168 next, what weight class do you think he fights with Boots if they decide to fight each other? Ozzy, I'm surprised no one has dropped Canelo. I'm telling you, Canelo, he's kind of like Triple G when it comes to taking a punch. Triple G never got dropped in his whole career. His whole career never visited the canvas. And he fought some very hard punches, including Canelo. Triple G ate big punches from hard punchers and never went down. Canelo's on that same boat. He can take a shot, bro. He can take a shot, a monster shot, and still stand in front of you. Eat that shit like it's a chalupa. Ozzy, 168, no rehydration clause. Terence just don't give a fuck. I'm trying to tell you. For fight night, they both going to be weighing close to 180 pounds. I'm trying to tell you. Maybe north of 180. LLYY. I want to see Bivol fight David. Bivol is a duck to me now. He's a duck. I mean, to me, that's a duck too. I see any fighter who has a mandatory that's real good and drops the belt to avoid that mandatory, that's a duck to me. I don't want to hear it. That's a duck. You ducking. Guillermo Medes Jr. If Bud moves up like he doing, he might meet Ennis at 160. That's a good option. That's a good option. Terence Crawford fight at 168 and then do a catch weight at 160 to fight Boots. Because I think, it's going to be real hard for a guy to fight at 168 and drop down 2 whole divisions to fight in the immediate next fight. That's tough. That is tough. LOYY. Thank you for 25 likes, everyone. Guillermo Medes Jr. Bivol ain't ducking. That's what you call a sucker move. I mean, we got to call it what it is. We got to call it what it is. Familia número uno. What's good, OG? Bendiciones. Appreciate you coming through, my brother. Bendiciones también, manito. Ozzy, don't you think Beterbiev is a more dangerous fight than Benavidez? Of course not, because he already beat Beterbiev. He already knows he could beat him. And you got to remember, Beterbiev was already 40 years old for that first fight. He's only getting older. That's it. That's it. At 40 years old, your prime is definitely over. So even if it's a little bit, Beterbiev is losing a step. So if Bivol already beat him, he already knows he could beat him. He don't know that he could beat Benavidez. He could have fought Benavidez and stayed undisputed for the third fight with Beterbiev. So to me, that's a bigger fight against the Mexican monster. Arch 30. It was, if I was score, I'm feeling highly, highly disrespected. No one is even talking about my guy. That's facts. And the thing is, I have spoke about him, but I just don't want him to win. Because I know if score upsets Canelo, we're not going to get Canelo versus Terence Crawford. That's it. It's over right there. So I want Canelo to win that fight. LOYY. But that's true though. Beterbiev is a dangerous fight to me than David. I mean, Beterbiev is a dangerous fighter, but like I said, Bivol already knows he could beat him. He beat him already. He don't know that he could beat Benavidez. Punisher, Jay Smith. I got some quick points to make about Bivol ducking. Let me know your thoughts. Bear with me. I'm going to write it down to fit in one comment because it's limited. I got you, my brother. I'll check it out and I'll tell you what I think about it. Guillermo Medes Jr. Yes, sir. But Bivol got hands. But the Mexican monster is that dude. I think someone is in Bivol's ear. Never recall Bivol duck anyone. His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh. He's the one that from the first day that Benavidez was mandated to fight Bivol, he said he wasn't interested in that fight. And I think it's obvious because he don't negotiate directly with Benavidez. He preferred to have Bivol versus Beterbiev, which is both fighters negotiating with him. That's what it looks like to me. LLYY, Beterbiev will retire at 45 years old, in my opinion. He's really saved him. He's completely healthy and can still move like crazy. I don't know. You know, fighters are not going that far these days. So to say 45, I think that may be a stretch, my brother. I think Beterbiev at most has 1 or 2 years left in his career. He's made good money. That's the point too. With the money that he's made, he won't be fighting for money. I don't think he'll be fighting at 45. JJ's in the house. Everyone hit that like button. Hell yeah, my peoples. Hit that like button. Ozzy, Bivol always happy to fight anyone. He ain't no duck. I mean, I feel the same way, but he ducked Benavidez. Duck Benavidez, bro. LOYY, yeah, Bivol ain't no duck. He ain't fight because of David. Because of Turkey. But still, it's his decision to drop the belt. Turkey put that pressure on him, like, yo, nah, that's not the fight I want you to make. But he's not under contract with Turkey. B-Boy's not under contract with Turkey. Could have fought who he wanted to. He chose to vacate a title and not fight Benavidez. To me, that's a duck. I don't care who was in your ear or who convinced you not to make the fight. You dropped the title. You should have fought the Mexican monster. That was the fight to make. I already seen 24 rounds of Bivol versus Beterbiev. 24 rounds, 2 full fights. I know we all know how the third fight is going to play out, my peoples. I'm not saying we know who's going to win or lose, but we all know it's going to be a competitive fight. They're going to go back and forth. They're both going to do real good. They're both going to have their moments. And then one is going to narrowly win. And we already know that. We don't know how Bivol versus the Mexican monster plays out, though. Ozzy, Turkey loves Beterbiev. He wants the third fight because Beterbiev is Muslim. He wants the third fight, but he should have allowed Bivol to defend his undisputed crown. You got a guy who's undisputed. They fought for undisputed. So think about that. Why would they fight for undisputed? Bivol got all the belts, and in the third fight, Beterbiev is not going to be able to get all the belts because Bivol's no longer going to be undisputed. LLYY, how many fighters have ducked David? A lot. A lot of fighters have ducked that smoke with Benavidez. JJ's in there has boxing politics once again. Sometimes, one of the things I always say, sometimes the business of boxing ruins the sport of boxing. Because the fights that are supposed to happen don't happen. Ozzy, how are they stripping Bivol though? I guess you can't keep the belts on hold for a trilogy. You can't. Ozzy, same with Usyk Fury. You can't, yo. You can't put them belts on hold. No. You gotta defend. And the thing is that, His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh obviously got beef with the WBC. Because y'all remember he didn't allow Canelo to wear the WBC belt when he was taking the picture in that Ring Magazine ceremony. And now it was the WBC who mandated the fight with Benavidez. And look, Turkey got Bivol to drop the WBC title. So there seems to be an issue over there as well. Let's see what they're going to do about that Turkey belt. Guillermo Medes Jr., them dudes don't want that smoke with the Mexican monster. That's how I see it. That's how I see it right there. JJ Zendejas. Turkey made him look like a duck to us fight fans. LLYY, you think Deontay Wilder will be back? I mean, Deontay Wilder has a fight coming up. If he's able to win, in spectacular fashion, knock his opponent out, he could be right back in the mix. If he loses, it's over. If he loses to a guy that we don't even know with multiple losses, it's over. Then we know it's over. That's it. There ain't nothing he could do. Retire. You got a lot of money, generational wealth. Retire and don't get beat up anymore. That's how I see it. Ozzy. But they be doing some BS for Canelo. Canelo could be 60 years old with the WBC belt. LOYY, Deontay Wilder ain't getting a title shot. I mean, we have to see. We have to see, what he does in his following fight. MAW. Not duck, in my humble opinion, if Bivol had a contractual agreement to honor, because Beterbiev gave him opportunity after first, then Bivol must. Best case scenario is a trilogy. Winner returns to settle it versus Benavidez. That's the thing, MAW. Bivol didn't have a contractual agreement. He didn't have to fight Beterbiev. They didn't have a contract. He chose. That's where it's at. He chose to drop the belt and pursue that trilogy. Now, whether or not he got pressured by Turkey, which I'm pretty sure that happened, but still, you your own man. You are your own man. You make the decisions. Regardless of who's putting pressure or not, it's your decision. He could have defended versus Benavidez if he wanted to. I'm not giving him a pass. To me, he ducked. Guillermo Medes Jr. Wilder is washed up, brother. He has one hand, one punch. He in trouble because Wilder ain't a complete fighter, two hands with defense. I mean, Wilder's not the most talented fighter, but the power is the last thing to go, my brother. The power. One punch can change everything. Ozzy, I'm not exactly for the third fight. Second fight was exciting. But now, we know how it goes. It's like I said, man, 36 rounds back to back. We don't need that. We don't need guys to fight each other back to back to back 3 times in a row. We don't need that. We needed David Benavidez versus Dimitri Bivol. Do the trilogy afterwards. But damn, take care of your mandatory. Take care of your mandatory, bro. LLYY J. Smith. But outside of a contract, Bivol got to keep his promise for Beterbiev for the trilogy fight. Because Beterbiev accepts to give him an immediate rematch. That's the thing. You're talking about a promise, my brother, but what promise are you talking about? It's like you're making a promise out of thin air because nobody ever said that Bivol had a promise for a rematch. What promise is he really keeping? You got to remember, my brother, boxing is a business. It's not anything that is not in contract don't mean nothing. All that stuff about keeping a promise, what promise? Ain't no promises in business. It's about a contract. I ain't even watched Canelo Golovkin 3. the fight was some BS, some sparring session. Nah, man, I don't think so. I felt like they was both giving everything they had to win that fight, but still, it wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary. We already saw the first one, it looked like it could have went in Bivol favor. But the second one, Canelo definitely won it. We didn't need a trilogy. Bivol was already older by the time they did that trilogy. And Beterbiev is going to be 41 years old doing a trilogy with a younger fighter. It's going to play out just like the second one. Watch. MAW did, according to Hearn, said whether DB offered 8 million or 20 million because Bivol could have cause was bound. Regardless, trilogy is happening. What happened after, we'll discuss again after. Yeah, that's it. The trilogy is definitely happening. I mean, he already dropped the title, so we know that this trilogy is happening. Were people calling for it, wanting it? I don't know. I think if you next time, matter of fact, tomorrow I'm gonna do a poll to see if people prefer to see Bivol versus the Mexican Monster or doing a trilogy. Tomorrow I'm gonna do that poll, and we'll see how the people feel about it. LLYY, what you think about Bivol versus Beterbiev trilogy fight? And the winner will fight Davis. I mean, I got Bivol winning that trilogy, and maybe he fights Benavidez. I don't know if he's gonna fight Benavidez. If he didn't fight him as a mandatory, I don't know if he's gonna fight him voluntarily. Like, okay, now I feel like, nah. Canelo didn't fight Benavidez as a mandatory. That's why I feel like he'll never fight him. So Bivol may never fight him either. We'll see. Only time will tell. My peoples, I'm about to end this live. Before I end it, as always, I want to give a shout out to a few of those of you who come through, always show me love. John Parham, Ozzy, LLYY, MAW. My peoples, I really appreciate you guys showing love, coming through. Gear Mamedes Jr., who else rolled up in here? JJ Sendejas, my G. Every one of you, my peoples. I really appreciate the love. I always appreciate you guys coming through, talking boxing with me. I know that there's a lot of channels out there that you could go to express your opinions. Yeah, you choose to come express it with me. So I really appreciate that, my peoples. Y'all already know tomorrow we're gonna be talking boxing. I'm gonna do a poll to see if y'all want to see Benavidez be the guy to fight Bivol, or if y'all want to see Beterbiev fight Bivol with that trilogy. We're going to do a poll about that tomorrow, my peoples. Y'all already know what it is. I'm Jay Smith. This is Box Center, your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. I'll see you guys tomorrow, my peoples. Bam. Peace out.